Imagine walking into a bank, depositing your paycheck, and believing that money is safe, that it sits there, waiting for you, tangible, real. But here's the truth. Most of the money you think exists doesn't. Not in the vault, not in some hidden ledger. It exists because someone, somewhere, made a promise, and that promise moves the world. Money moves the way it does because banks, governments, and markets aren't just storing value, they're manufacturing it in ways almost no one notices. And the system is both elegant and terrifying. Right now, trillions of dollars are shifting every day. Some of it crosses oceans in seconds, some of it vanishes in a blink. Interest rates rise, currencies wobble, and suddenly a small corner of the financial world triggers ripples that reach your bank account, your mortgage, your savings. Understanding why money moves isn't academic, it's survival. Step 1. Money isn't what you think. Most of it isn't cash. The U.S. Federal Reserve, instance, issues physical currency that totals just over $2 trillion. That sounds like a lot, but the total money supply, counting checking accounts, digital deposits, and short-term lending instruments, is over 20 times that. The majority exists as digital promises, numbers on a screen. Here's the kicker. Banks create most of that money themselves. Every time a bank issues a loan, it doesn't take existing money and hand it to you. It credits your account with a number, a promise to pay. That number is treated as real money. Your spending makes it real. The bank didn't borrow from someone else, they invented it. Step 2. Central banks set the stage. By adjusting interest rates and buying or selling government bonds, they control the cost of creating money. Lower rates make loans cheaper, which encourages more money creation. Higher rates slow it down. It's like a thermostat, but for the global economy. And every adjustment ripples through markets in ways ordinary people rarely see. Step 3. Leverage and velocity. Money moves faster than ever. Hedge funds, corporations, and governments borrow against promises to borrow more, layering claims and obligations in ways that can multiply risk without changing a single dollar in cash. One missed payment in the wrong corner of the system can trigger cascading failures, as we saw in 2008. Now, consider fractional reserve banking, the principle that banks only need to keep a fraction of deposits on hand. In theory, it works. In practice, it's a system built on trust. Your $100 deposit might back $900 in loans elsewhere. That means 90% of the money in the system is virtual, dependent on confidence and continuous movement. If everyone demanded cash at once, collapse. Then there's the irony. The very system that creates money is also addicted to scarcity. Banks and central banks manage liquidity so carefully because too much can inflate away value, while too little can freeze trade. The balancing act is invisible, constant, and profoundly consequential. You've probably heard it said, banks are evil, printing money at will. Simplistic and mostly wrong. The reality is subtler. Banks don't just create money, they allocate it. Who gets loans, who gets investment, who gets left behind, these are decisions that shape entire economies, and often they're based on calculations that are efficient in markets but harsh in human terms. Take international trade. Money flows to where interest rates are highest or risk-adjusted returns are most favorable. That can mean emerging economies suddenly face capital flight when conditions change abroad, destabilizing currencies and livelihoods. The mechanics are cold, impersonal, almost mechanical, yet the effects are deeply human. Step back and consider the scale. Money isn't just a tool, it's a system of power. It influences policy, fuels markets, and underwrites entire governments. The same invisible forces that move your bank account
also sway elections, dictate who gets bailouts, and determine whether a crisis is contained or amplified. And yet, almost no one outside finance fully grasps it. Most of us see only the surface, balances, interest rates, transactions, rarely the underlying machinery. That invisibility is deliberate and necessary. The system would grind to a halt if everyone fully understood or questioned it constantly. So next time money moves, your paycheck, your mortgage, the stock you own, remember it's not just numbers, it's trust, leverage, and invisible flows of power. It's a system designed to function, yet fragile enough that a single shock can cascade globally. We think we control money, but really, it controls us. And that raises the question, how much of your financial reality is truly yours, and how much is just a promise someone else made?